Lorac is next. This is the Lorac Pirates of the Caribbean Treasure in the Stars palette. This was limited edition. And look at how gorgeous this is. Oh my God, I love it so much. It's incredible. I got some black shadow in here the other day and I was really sad. But I love the colors in here. When I first got this palette, I didn't really have any color in my collection, and this really helped me branch out, which was the whole reason that I got it. And of course it's Lorac and Pirates of the Caribbean, like hello. I love Lorac's formula. It is one of my favorites and I love their stuff. I've never been disappointed by their eyeshadows before, and this palette is no exception. I really like the color story in here. It's more unique, I think, especially for when it launched. Like, this was not a color story that you saw all the time, and I enjoy it so much, but it's discontinued, so I won't dwell, even though I want to. I won't dwell. And I actually have them in order here, which is not how I just randomly placed them, but this is the Lorac Pro original. And it looks like this was a classic here on YouTube many moons ago. And the whole top row is matte and the whole bottom row is shimmer. If you haven't seen Lorac palettes, they typically do something along those lines. And this formula is amazing. Now, I don't know if they have like a different formula, but because it says like pro formula, so I don't know if there's like a non-pro formula, but I love this regardless. I love it. Incredible. The shimmers are amazing. And when I first got this palette, like these shimmers were unlike anything else I had ever used. Now it's like, okay, it's pretty common, but when I first got them, they were like everything. And I still use these palettes, like they are still everything to me, and I still love them. And I know a lot of people have decluttered them and just like moved on, but I like these. Like, I feel like these are good products, and they were good and like popular for a reason, and they still deserve that hype because they are still good. And I know a lot of people have just moved on, but I'm not ready. This is the Lorac Pro 2. This is my favorite cool tone palette that I own. As you can see, we did have a little bit of breakage in Rosé, which is actually my favorite shade. But I use this a ton. If I am using or wearing a cool tone eyeshadow, 9 times out of 10 it came from this palette, or at least one shade did, because I cannot do a cool tone shadow eye look without this. I don't know how. I swear I will pull into this just for like the littlest of things, like either it's this buff shade or this snow shade or this light brown. Like, I swear I'm always in this when I'm wearing cool tones, and I have other cool tone palettes, but this one is just my favorite, and it's so good. I love it. And then my favorite one is the Lorac Pro 3. And of course, it's warm tone neutrals. Like, hello, obviously this is gonna be my favorite. And the shades in here are incredible. I have used every single shade. This one had a little bit of breakage as well in the corner there. It's not too bad. But I love this. And I always do try to keep my palettes pretty clean, and this one's pretty dirty for me, especially for me. I always wipe them down to try to keep them looking nice, and this one has been through the ringer compared to the others. And then this one is really good. This is the Lorac Pro 4, and this palette, we had a little bit of breakage in this midnight shade as well, but the Lorac formula is really soft, so they do break pretty easily. So I would just keep that in mind if you are somebody who has young children who like to play in makeup. Some of my friends have kids and they have complained that they've broken palettes before. These are definitely fragile, so I would just keep that in mind. Or if you travel a lot and you would like to take one of these, you can, but they do have a tendency to break in my personal experience, so I would just keep that in mind. But this palette, incredible. I love the rose, like pinky vibes in here. It's a little bit deeper than like a light neutral rose, but they're still neutral, like they're not crazy. And so if you are somebody who's looking to dabble into color, this would be perfect, because it's, again, neutral, but it has some color to it, and I love all of them. Like, I could never part with any of them. Now I've pulled out Morphe. I have never tried a Morphe palette that wasn't part of a collab. These are all the Morphe palettes I've ever tried, with the exception of this one. So I'll start with this one. This is the Sour Patch Kids collection. I saw the Lucky Charms collection. It's so cute. I love Lucky Charms, but in my opinion, it looks very similar to this. Not identical, but pretty dang similar, and that's why I didn't pick it up. I love Lucky Charms though. They're one of my favorite cereal, and that's why I didn't get it, because I have this one and I haven't even touched it. I bought it because of course it's gorgeous and I love Sour Patch Kids, but then I had, like I said at the beginning, a bunch of health problems, so I haven't had an opportunity to play with this yet. I'm hoping to very soon. This whole bottom row is shimmers, and then these top 2 rows are all matte, and they're very vibrant colors, and I love the way they look. They're so pretty. I love, but I haven't had a chance to play yet. I'm so sorry, my cat just knocked something down. But I love the packaging as well. It's really cute. All right, then we have the Madison Beer Channel Surfing palette. I love, oh, I can't get it open, Madison Beer, and that was like one of the reasons I bought this, but the other reason was because of this row right here. This row is like mauve, and I love it. Seeing it swatched, incredible. I really enjoy this palette. You can kind of see the reflect there. I really like it. Again, did I need this? No. Do I have palettes that look very similar? Of course, but I really liked it, and I like Madison Beer as well. So, you know, I just wanted to show a little bit of support and pick it up. Alrighty, then we have these, and they were all of these, and this whole stack here are YouTuber collaborations, and I bought every single one of these to do a review video on, and that was the whole reason I purchased them. And yeah, so I have the entire Jaclyn Hill vault. So the first one here is Ring the Alarm, and I like these. I know a lot of people didn't. A lot of people had, you know, mixed opinions on them. Mine work fine. I still like them. I still use them, but I know a lot of people just didn't, and you know, I'm not entirely sure. I don't really know. I try not to stay too involved in drama, and that is that one. Let's put you over here with things similar. This is Bling Boss, which is my personal favorite of them all. Like, look at these colors, amazing. That gem shade there in the center was my favorite purple in my entire collection for many years. Like, that was my purple shade. Now it's not, it's still up there, but, and this shade right here, look at it. Oh, it's so pretty, so pretty. And then we have Dark Magic. This is my least favorite just because of the tones. I don't wear tones like this very often. I want to. I think I should start wearing tones like dark, grungy tones like this more often, because I have this palette here, and this is one of my least used palettes. I keep it around because it's good to have on hand for like looks and stuff, but I don't really reach into it all that much, truthfully. And then we have Armed and Gorgeous, which looks like this. This palette is stunning. I love this one. Of course, warm tone neutrals, hello, amazing. And then we have the original Jaclyn Hill palette. This palette is very dirty for me, and this is a palette I do recommend to pretty much everybody. If you've ever sent me a DM or a message and are like, what palette should I get that has like everything and doesn't break the bank, I always recommend this one. There are so many colors in here. I love the quality of this. I've heard that they reformulated it. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know. But I love the colors in here. And this was like my style when I first got this. This was like, I only wore neutrals. And this does have pops of color, but I only wore neutrals for many years. And then when I started getting into color, Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 came out, and this is definitely more my style now. Definitely still neutral, but has a lot of color, very vibrant, coral. This is definitely more my style now, and this palette is amazing. I recommend either of them. They're incredible, and I like them a lot. Then we have the James Charles palette. Oh, I have the big one and it's kind of hard for me to open. It looks like this. I like this palette. It's not my favorite. Some of the shades in here work better than some of the others, and I know some of them are marketed as a pressed pigment. I love pressed pigments, and still I have some difficulty with some of the shades in here working and blending and stuff. I do like this palette because it has a lot of colors in it, pretty much every color you would ever need almost. And I do like how the top is all neutral, the bottom is color, and then the middle are shades that are used pretty frequently. But again, you know, it's not my favorite palette ever. It is nice, but not my favorite. And then for the last Morphe palette, I have the Cherry Coke palette here. I love Coke, and I've never bought any of the other Coke palettes before from Morphe. I think this was like their 3rd or 4th collab with Coke, and I love Coke. Let's be real. But I really liked the look of this one, like the pinks and reds. It was definitely like my kind of style. So I picked it up, and the packaging is very similar to Too Faced. That was something a lot of people complained about, and it's definitely very similar. This is my Too Faced palette collection. I used to have the most Too Faced palettes in my collection, but now I think ColourPop has taken over. I love Too Faced shadows. Clearly I have a problem. These are some of my favorites. I still want to say they're my favorite brand of eyeshadow just because they're so easy to use. I never, ever, ever have to think about, you know, like, am I picking up too much product? Is this going to blend out? They work perfect every single time. But now I think ColourPop might be up there. Definitely ColourPop, Too Faced, Lorac, Anastasia, Beverly Hills. Those are definitely my top 4. Not in that order, probably. Too Faced, like I said, still might be the number 1 just because they're so good. You know, I love this. These are my babies. Okay, so this one is the Natural Love. This is an old palette. This was limited edition many years ago. A lot of people said it's just another neutral palette, and it is. But I love this. I need to use it some more while it's still good. I really do need to crack this out some more. Ever since I really started getting into color, I haven't really used this that much, and I've thought about decluttering it, but I just can't. I have gotten rid of Too Faced palettes in the past, but I really enjoy this one. I really like it, and it's just like, it's a good staple for me, so I keep it around. Then we have the White Peach. This palette got a lot of mixed reviews again. This was, I believe, limited edition. I don't think this was ever like a permanent item that they discontinued. I believe it was always limited edition. But I do really like this. I like that the shades are really light. That was definitely a big complaint. I like that. Again, it's a little bit of a different palette for me, especially back when I bought it. I didn't have anything that looks similar to this. Now I can probably replicate it, but at the time it was something completely unique to my collection, and I really like it. I really like this purple shade down here, and I love the packaging, which, oh, you can see that. Oh no! Which brings me to just Peachy Mattes. This is one of my favorite palettes of life. I took this with me to Scotland. This is, I think, the only all matte palette I have. I think so. I think this is still the only all matte palette that I have. It's, you know, it's that girl. It's a staple for me. I love the shades in here. It smells like peach. It's incredible. This is like a perfect spring palette for me. I love it so much. It's so pretty. And again, the packaging is so cute, and the clasps are peaches. It's so cute, the detail. And these two, I believe, were limited edition as well. These are part of the Tutti Frutti collection. This is the Razzle Dazzle Berry palette, and I can't get it open. Looks like this. We did, again, have some breakage in here. This one smells like raspberries. This is just a purple palette, and I love it. I mean, look at the shades. And this shade right here is amazing. What shade is that? That is Boysenberry. Boysenberry. Love it. It's metallic, if you can see it kind of reflecting there. The backing kind of makes it a little hard, but the shades in here I love. They're very simple. It's very quick to use because it is, you know, such a tiny palette, but I like it. Then we have the pineapple, or sparkling pineapple is what it's called. This one's my favorite of the two because, again, warm tone neutrals, hello. And I love this duochrome green here. I actually just recently wore this palette to work and people loved it because I wore the duochrome green on my lid. That is Island Queen. It's that one. And I love it. It's definitely my favorite shade in the whole palette, the duochrome. I really enjoy it. And then we get into these. So I have a little one up here that you can't see. This is the Hot Buttered Rum. Caitlin bought me this for Christmas a couple years ago, and I still use it. This is definitely, again, one of the most used palettes in my collection just because it's always, you know, right there, and it has every shade in it that I could ever need. It's definitely convenient for travel. It smells amazing. It does have a scratch on it, which makes me really sad. I think that happened when we moved. But the shadows themselves are okay. That's what's important. The shadows survive. Okay, then we get into these. So I have the original chocolate bar palette. This is another palette that I recommend to everyone. If you've, again, ever sent me a DM or a message asking what palette you should get, that is amazing. Very easy to use. One that I would recommend. It's been this. I still recommend this to people. It's my favorite palette of all time. This palette will always be in my collection. I need to get a new one because this one is pretty old. It still works. It still smells like chocolate. And so until it doesn't, I'm gonna keep using it. Yeah. I just need to buy a new one for sure. But I love this palette. The shades in here, incredible. This is what started my makeup obsession. So I'm sure even if I bought a new one, I would probably keep my original too, because this is the first high-end palette I ever bought. I saved up for this and it has a lot of memories attached to it. It's just so special to me. And I still have the name sheet because that's how old mine is. But I will keep this forever and ever. Caitlin's favorite palette of mine, this is the Sweet Peach. Do you guys remember when this launched? This shook the internet. This palette was a pain in the ass for me to get my hands on. It kept selling out and I finally got it. And of course, amazing. I like using this in partnership with the Just Peachy Mattes. This palette I know is still available. This is definitely, I think, one of Too Faced's best sellers. This palette shook the world. This was like the palette to get. Like, it was impossible to get your hands on this. And I like it. I definitely used it a lot more back when it first launched and I first got it. I need to bring it back for this spring. But I still use it. I still like it. It still smells like peach. I can smell it when I open it. I really like the packaging. The ombre is really cute. Then we have, let's go to this one next. This is Pumpkin Spice. This is the holiday palette from not last year, the year before. Last year was the cinnamon swirl. I didn't get that one. I thought about it. I really wanted it. And then I talked myself out of it because it's pretty similar to the ones that they've released previously. And I don't need it. I do have like all of the 10 ones from the past couple years, but Cinnamon Swirl was just like, it was too similar. And I already bought Pumpkin Spice, which was pretty similar to these two. So I just talked myself out of it because I don't need it. So I bought this. This is Pumpkin Spice. Like I said, it's amazing. I love it. I love the scent. I love the colors. It's really pretty, but it's really similar to Cinnamon Swirl. And I mean, they do have differences, but it's just too similar for me considering how many palettes I have. And I talked myself out of it, which I think was a good decision. But that is this one. And I'll go ahead and show you these. So this is Gingerbread Spice and it looks like this. This one is amazing. Look at how pretty it is. Obsessed. And then I want to get this out of the way so you guys can't see it anymore. We have Gingerbread Extra Spicy, which looks like this. This one's a little bit darker, a little bit warmer, and I always say that these two, like the gingerbreads mixed together, you get pumpkin. So like I didn't really need cinnamon, but cute. Then we have, let's do this one. This is a white chocolate bar. This was from a while ago, a few holidays ago, and I really like this palette. Again, it's really light. A lot of people had a lot of complaints about that, and I understand, because if you had a deeper complexion than me, I don't think hardly any of these shades would work for you. But I really like it because I'm really fair. It's definitely not conclusive to all skin tones though, but I do like it. Then we have chocolate bonbons. This was discontinued. It's really cute. I love that the pans are in the shape of hearts. This was the first time I'd ever seen that done. Now it's been duplicated, but this was the first time I'd ever seen it done. It's really pretty. I won't dwell on it because it was discontinued. And this one was also discontinued. This is the semi-sweet chocolate bar. I love this. I love this. I don't know why they discontinued this. This is a warm lover's dream. I really wish they would have left this permanent. And we have two left. This is chocolate gold. This was, ooh, did I hit the camera? I think so. This is chocolate gold. This is I think the last of the chocolate line. They haven't released another one since. There's only 4 mattes in here, and the rest are like uber metallics. I really like this. I know a lot of people don't, but I do. I think every palette that people hate, I like for some reason. And then finally we have Clover. This is like the cutest packaging in the world, and the shades in here are incredible. This is one of my favorite Too Faced palettes of life. This was the first time, in my opinion, that Too Faced ever experimented with color, and I'm really happy that they did. This palette is amazing. It is a TooFaced.com exclusive, I think. I still think. I don't know if they ever brought it out in store, but it is so cute. So we only have a few brands left. We have ABH, ColourPop, and I think Lunar Beauty, and I think that is everything. So we have ABH right here. Like I said earlier, this is one of my favorite brands. Whew. Okay, I've been talking a long time. I have 1 battery left. It's in my camera. My other 2 are dead, so hopefully we get through this. So let's go ahead and talk about the pressed pigment palettes. They just released a volume 6. I don't have 5th or 6th, but this is volume 4. And I think I'm going to pick up the last 2 because I really like the way they look. I didn't originally pick up volume 5 because I thought it was very similar to this one, but then I watched a video comparing the 2 and they're actually pretty different. And I know that's probably just the eyeshadow junkie and me talking, but you know, what can I say? I really like this palette. It's really pretty. Again, it's perfect for romantic, soft looks. Let me zoom in a little bit. There we go. I really like it. And I love the huge mirror in these things. Amazing. And they're pretty big. They're pretty difficult to store, I'll be honest, because they're so large. My favorite, which is volume 3. Oh, I can't get it open. This one is really pretty. This one reminds me of like a forest in the fall time. I don't know if that was the inspiration, but that's kind of what I think of when I see this. I just think of like woods and fall, leaves changing, you know, things like that. I really love this one. This one's my favorite, followed pretty close by volume 2. This one reminds me a lot of the ocean. Just the colors in here, you know, blue, green. This one, amazing. I love the greens in here, obviously. This one also has a matte black. I really enjoy this. It has a pop of pink, which kind of throws me off a little bit. Like these 2 pinks kind of throw me off a little bit, but I still like this palette. And then the last big one is volume 1, and this one is like a deep purple. It looks like this. This one's probably my least favorite of all 4 of them. There's nothing wrong with it. I just, you know, this one, when I look at it, is probably like the most exciting for me. And those are the big ones. 3 little ones. This is volume 2. Looks like this. I don't use the little ones as much as I use the big ones. The color stories in them are a little interesting. I still like them, but they're a little different, which I kind of like, because it's different, you know. But this one is so pretty. I really like this one. And then volume 1 looks like this. Again, volume 1's probably my least favorite. Nothing really against it. Like, it's still pretty. I still use it. I still like it. But out of the 3, this one's probably my least favorite. And then volume 3, again, for some reason, is my favorite. I love the pressed glitter in this one. It's stunning. The colors down here, amazing. I really enjoy this one. And I love the cherries. Again, cherries everywhere. Let's talk about the biggest one first. This is Amrezy. I don't have the original Amrezy, but this is like the newer one. I like this. Again, this has pressed glitters in it, but I love them. They're definitely more of that like dry pressed glitter formula. You can kind of see them there if I like flip it around a little bit. I love this. It's so pretty. I haven't used it enough, truthfully. I need to use it a bit more. It's still really pretty. I still like it, but I really do need to dip into it a lot more, just because I feel like I haven't really given it enough love, considering how stunning it is. And Amra is stunning as well, and she deserves all the love. Now let's do another collab. This is Carly Bible. I really wanted to pick up Jackie Ina's, but I literally, every time I went to purchase it, it was out of stock. And I think it might be in stock now, or it was discontinued. One or the other. If it's in stock, I will totally pick it up, because the shades in there, gorgeous. This one's definitely lighter. It's really, really light. A lot of people didn't really like this. I don't like the packaging, truthfully, but the colors in here are really pretty. I do like the colors. I like the formula. It's a little light. As I said, you know, the shades are a little bit lighter, but they're really pretty as well. I haven't used this one like too much either. Limited editions. This one was limited edition. This is Riviera, and this one is very bright and colorful. Let's get the camera time to adjust. This one, definitely colorful. This is like one of the first really colorful palettes I think ABH did. They were kind of on the neutral train for a while, I think, as most brands were. And this one is very, very bright and colorful, as you can kind of see. I wish that my camera would cooperate with lighting. There we go. It's a little bit better. I do like this one. Again, I haven't used this one too much. I need to break it out this summer. Okay, then we have Prism. This one is one of my most used palettes in my collection. It's stunning. I think I've used every shade in here like a gazillion times. I love the shades in here. I love the formula. Every time I've used this palette, it has been amazing, and I really like it. The reflective backing is making it a little difficult to show you. This is like a light tan color. For some reason, it's not wanting to come off that way. Kind of is there, but not really. Again, I've used this in tutorials on my channel, and if you want to see it in action, just let me know. But the shades, beautiful. Then we have Sultry, which is this one. This one is definitely more cool toned, especially for me. I really enjoy this one. I love the pop of pink in here, and I love that it's cool toned. Like, it's a little bit different, and I love it. And then we have Norvina. This is what this one looks like. It is purple and neutral, and I love it. The purples are definitely more purple leaning, and I love that. Hey, look, there's me. But I love that. I love the shades. And then we have these two. This is Soft Glam. And Soft Glam, I think, is like a staple in so many people's collection. Like, this is just like, this was, again, one of those palettes that you just had to have. Like, when this launched, this was everywhere. And people still use it and still love it, and I'm definitely one of them. And then my favorite palette from them ever is the Modern Renaissance. This is, like, amazing. If you love warm tones and berries, you need this in your life. Like, this palette, again, is one that was everywhere, and it was everywhere for a good reason. This is, like, one of the best. Like, this is one of the best. So I have all of those. So I'm going to do ColourPop. Let me swap those. ColourPop next. Because I have so many, I'm going to do my quads first because I have I have 8 quads, and then I have like a bunch of 9 pans, and then I have some bigger ones. So I'm gonna do the quads first. So I have 2 quad collections here. As you can see, I have the summer Hello Kitty collection. I think it was called like the tropical collection. I'm not entirely sure, I don't remember. And then I have the Animal Crossing collection. And I'm not a huge fan of quads. That's why you haven't seen very many. These are actually the only quads I have. I don't have any like triple or trios. I don't have any duos. I don't really use things like that. I said in both my review videos for these collections that I would have preferred like a full-on palette for each of them, but I have these. So I'm gonna go over these. This is Cherry Sweet. This is like the pink one, and this has 2 mattes and 2 shimmers. I think all of the Hello Kitty ones are like that. And then we have my favorite, which is Teeny Keeny. Again, look at that orange goodness. And then we have Pineapple Cake, which originally was my least favorite, and now I think it's the pink one. I think it like just swapped. I don't know what happened, but the more I used this, the more I liked it. And then finally I have Coco Cutie, which is the blue one, and yeah, they're all 2 shimmers and 2 mattes. I really like them. I think they're really cute. I like to just kind of use them as part of companion palettes with some of my other palettes. Like if I'm using Orange You Glad, I'll dip into this, or if I'm using, I've used this alongside the Pineapple palette by Too Faced before. I kind of just like to mix and match sometimes, so that is what I mainly do with them. Let me get these out of the way. And then Animal Crossing. This is La Belle of the Ball, and the packaging is so cute, and this one is gorgeous. I actually wore this the other day to work. This one only has 1 matte in it. I wore this and people loved it. This duochrome right here, obsessed. And then Nook Ink, again, only has 1 matte. I think all of these only have 1. I really like this one. And then What a Hoot. This is definitely my most used because of the shades in here. Like, these are just everyday shades for me, and stunning. Look at that when I move it around. And then we have 5 Star Island, which is one of my other most used. I don't think this one has a matte. No, it does. The pink one is a matte. But beautiful. I love these. Like I said, I don't really use them too much on their own. I usually partner them with something else, but I do like them. And they're really small and they're really cute. We have these 3. These are the only ones that aren't 9 pans. So let's start with the big one. This is Fade into Hue. This is a dream. If you love color, you need this in your life. Like, this is amazing. It has every type of like formula in here, every type of finish basically, and color that you would ever need. This is, if you do YouTube or do a lot of creative looks, this is something that you need in your life, because there are so many different options, so many colors, all the pressed glitters. They each have like a different type of finish. There is of course matte in here as well for each shade. I love this. This is one of my favorite rainbow palettes ever. I really hope they don't ever discontinue this. And it has that soft matte packaging, so of course I love. And then this is Lush Life. This again has that soft matte packaging. This is what this one looks like. This again was a summer collection. I don't know if it's still available, honestly, but I really enjoy this. This is a little bit grungier for me. This isn't like a normal palette for me. I still like it. That reflective backing is making it so hard. There's that green. I really like it. And then this one, Good as Gold, is my favorite. Look at this. This is me. Warm tone neutrals. I love gold on my blue eyes. I just love it, and these shades are amazing. Again, I've used it paired with other palettes, and I've used this one on its own. I love them. These are the rest. Sorry, I had to double check. Yes, these are the rest of my ColourPop shadows. This one has something on it. I don't know what it is, and it's kind of like annoying me a little bit. So let's just dip in. I was gonna do in like color order, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm just gonna like grab them. So that's Taupe. I love Taupe on my blue eyes. Again, it's one of my favorites, and I love this palette. If you have been thinking about it, highly recommend this one and this one right here, making mauves. amazing. Like, look at this. They are so pretty together, so pretty separate. I love these two. These two are definitely becoming some of my most used palettes. I would say that Taupe is a little bit more up on my alley, but I do really like them together as well. They're just so pretty together. Like, look at them. So pretty. And I love the packaging. It's like a soft matte cardboard. Let's just do all the cardboard packaging, shall we? Because I only have 2 more. And that is these 2. So let me just stick these in their places. The rest are in like a plastic. So this is the Child palette. It looks like this. I bought this because it's green and it's gorgeous. I've never actually seen Star Wars at all, but I love the colors in here. It's so pretty. The new one that they launched, I wasn't crazy about the colors, but this one, the greens, totally got me. And then this is the Cherry Crush palette. It looks like this. This is a really pretty palette. I did a whole review over this entire collection, but in my opinion, I would prefer, or I do prefer Main Squeeze, which is this one. They are different, but they are very similar as well. Like, I definitely don't need both of these. They're different, but they're very similar. Yeah, I think I might end up decluttering Cherry Crush in the near future. I do like it, like I said, but I do prefer Main Squeeze. And let's go ahead and move on to Main Squeeze, or to the plastic one. I already did Main Squeeze. What am I doing? This is Meant to Be. This is the one with like a gel on it. I don't know what it is. I love this palette. It's very light. I love to pair it with this one, which is Just My Luck, if I can get it open. This is like dark greens, and this is obviously mint pastels. I love to pair these 2 palettes together. Like I said, I pair palettes all the time. It's like the only way I will ever be able to use them all, and I love to pair these together. I also like to mix in Nook ink sometimes, but I love both of these. I really love Meant to Be. It's one of my favorite palettes that I own. Then we have Ooh La La. This was, I think, one of the first monochromatic palettes that ColourPop ever did. This one, again, I mix it with Strawberry Shake a lot, which is like the really light version of Ooh La La. To me, they're perfect companion palettes. You can obviously use them separately, and I have, and I like using them separately as well, but I also like to use them together because, as I've explained a million times, that's the only way I can get through them all. And those are those 2. Like I said, I love ColourPop's formula, and I'm obsessed. Let's do 2 more that I mixed together. This is Lilac You a Lot, and then we have It's My Pleasure. So the purples, love. I do think I prefer Lilac You a Lot over It's My Pleasure. Just the colors. Again, I love them both though. And ColourPop, one of my favorite formulas. Like I said, they've quickly risen to the top for me. And then let's just go into these on their own, because I don't really mix any of the rest of these. This is Honey. This is one of my favorites. I love yellow, and this is stunning. I love this for summertime. Then we have Blowin' Smoke. This is one that I don't use a ton. I actually bought this because it's pretty unique. I don't have another palette that looks like this. It's just like a really nice smoky palette, which I think everybody needs at least one in their collection. All right, then we have Baby Got Peach. This one is so pretty. This is one I like to mix with the Too Faced peach palettes. I really like this. I don't love the pressed glitter in this one. I do use it, but it's like not my favorite. Some of these have better pressed glitters than others, but I do like that palette. This is Miss Bliss. This is from the tie-dye collection, and I loved the tie-dye collection. I think people had mixed opinions on it, but this one I loved. This one is also from that collection. This is In a Trance, and looks like this. This one is so pretty. I love dipping into this. My favorite one from the tie-dye collection is Aura and Out. And of course, it's green, so of course it's my favorite. But this one, I love every time I use it. I love the way it looks, and I'm so happy that I picked that up. I didn't originally plan on it. And then we have Blue Moon, which is another one of my favorites. I love blues, and this one, amazing. I also love Orange You Glad because, hello, orange. I love orange, so perfect for spring and summer. And then we have Wine and Only. I haven't actually used this one yet. Isn't it gorgeous? Like, this would be perfect for fall and winter, which I just missed. But I love this. And I really, really am excited to dip into it. And then my most used is Going Coconuts. And this one is always on my desk or near it. I use it all the time. If you want one ColourPop palette, just one, I recommend this one. This one is so good. I love it. So the bottom three were limited edition, the top three are permanent. So let's start with the limited editions. So we have Moonspell Volume 1. It looks like this. The Lunar Beauty formula is, again, one of my favorites. I should have said that earlier. Definitely top 5, definitely top 5. The formula is amazing. They're pigmented, they're blendable, they're very easy to work with. They're, again, kind of like Too Faced. Like, I never ever have to think about how it's gonna look. It's just perfect every single time. And this palette is stunning. Because it was limited edition, I won't dwell. And then Moonspell Volume 2, I haven't even used yet. I bought this and Life's a Drag Facelift right before I had a bunch of health problems. So I haven't used either of them yet, which makes me so sad. But oh, look at this. Look at this color story. It's purple and stunning. I am obsessed. And then Greek Goddess is one of my favorite palettes ever because it's warm tone neutrals. Look at that. That's me. That's me in a palette. Stunning. And then we'll go through the permanent ones. So this is Life's a Drag Facelift. This is the one I was just talking about that I haven't used because I bought it right before I had a ton of health problems. And I can't wait to dip into this. I was so excited when they announced that they were doing this because I never got a chance to get Life's a Drag and I wanted it so bad. And then they did this and they added shades and I was like, you're kidding. Like, I'm so excited. It's so pretty. And then we have my two favorites. So we have Eternal Eclipse, which is usually not a color story that I'm obsessed with, but this one I love. And I love using this palette. It's beautiful. But my favorite is the first one that I ever bought, and it is Strawberry Dream. And look. Oh my goodness, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. I love using this. It smells like strawberries. Just faintly, like it's just faint. So that wraps up my 2022 palette collection video. It was terribly long. I have so many palettes all over my desk right now, and I am so happy that I actually was able to get this filmed for you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's video. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. Help me reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers, and I will see you in my next video.